Today's lesson is 3-7 Reteaching. The learning goal for this lesson is to multiply a 2-digit number by a 2-digit number. This problem asks us to find the product of 43 times 26. First, let's start with finding a reasonable estimate. So I'm going to round 43 down to 40. And I'm going to multiply that by 26, which I'm going to round to 30. When I do this multiplication problem, I know I'm going to do my 4 times 3 and then add my 2 zeros. So 4 times 3 is 12 plus 2 zeros. I get the answer of 1,200. Now let's take a look at this problem step by step. The first thing we're going to do is multiply the 1. So in this case, the bolded numbers 3 and 6. When I multiply these two numbers together, I get 18. So I'm going to put my 8 down here and carry my 10 over. Because 18 can also be represented as 1 10 and 8 ones. So that 10 needs to be carried over to the ones place. The next step I'm going to take is to multiply 6 times 4. So remember, this is like multiplying 6 times 40 because this number 4 up in the top factor is representing 40, not just 4, but 40. So 4 tens. So 6 times 4 tens is going to get me 24 tens, plus 1 is 25 tens. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Remember, if you have 25 tens, this is like saying 25 times 10, which is 250. Which you notice this 2 goes over into my hundreds place, so we have 250 plus the 8 that we already had. Once we have done that multiplication, we get the number 258, and this number is my first partial product. Remember, partial products are products that we find along the way that help us to our final product. So 258 is our first partial product. So the next thing we're going to do is multiply by the tens. It's important to remember that this 2 is actually representing the number 20 because it's in the tens place. So when we do 2 tens times 3 ones, we're going to get the number 60. So we've already added our 0 to the hero here, which we always do when multiplying by tens, so we just need to bring down our 6. So next we're going to multiply our 2 times our 4. And remember that 2 is representing 2 tens and our 4 is representing 4 tens. So when we do 2 times 4 and get 8, that's going to go in our hundreds place. Because if we were to do 40 times 20, we would get 800. Not just 8, but 800. Now we have found both of our partial products and we're ready to add these together to find our final product, our actual product. So when we add 8 plus 0, we get 8. 5 plus 6 is 11. We put our 1 down there and carry our 10 over. 2 plus 8 is 10, and we're going to carry our extra 10 up there and add it, which is 11. So our actual final product is 1,118. Now let's take a look at our product and our estimate and see if it was a reasonable estimate. So here this chart shows our estimated product that we found at the beginning of the lesson was 1,200, and our actual product is 1,118. This shows me that it's a pretty reasonable estimate because these numbers are pretty close in value. Now we want to determine whether or not our estimate is an overestimate or underestimate. If you look back at the problem, 43 times 26, you'll see that, and we rounded it to 40 times 30. Notice that this number, the first factor, 43, goes down when we round it, and the number 26 went up when we rounded it. So this is one it's a good situation to find the actual product to determine whether it's an underestimate or overestimate. So we can look back at our chart up here and see that our estimated product is just a little bit larger than our actual product. So in this case, our estimate is an overestimate.